Hello, everyone. Welcome to the discussion of the film Jawan 2023, the fresh reviews and analysis. आज हम हमारे साथ ज्वाइन कर चुके हैं एक एसआर के फैन, डाई हार्ड फैन, और एक एसआर के हेटर, डाई हार्ड हेटर. आई थिंक मे बी लाइक ऑडियंस फिगर आउट करेगी या फिर छोड़ो रहने दो. लाइक मैं ही बोल देता हूँ कि कौन हेटर है कौन फैन है. So let's start with introducing the SRK fan, die hard SRK fan, which is Biswadeep. Is like मैंने बोला था कि रिलीज के पहले ही ये रिलीज के पहले ही बोला था कि तुझे आना है अगर मैं जवान पे वीडियो करूंगा, तो उसने तभी अग्री कर दिया था वैसे. So yes, Biswa, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for coming. And the next is the die-hard SRK hater, which is Dr. Randhir. और लाइक ये टाइटल उन्होंने ही सजेस्ट किया था कि ऐसा टाइटल रखना, मैं बोला ओके चलो. सो यस, डॉक्टर इज क्वाइट फेमस फॉर हिज डिस्कशंस ऑन मासी एंटरटेनमेंट मसाला फिल्म्स, जो कि दिस इज वन ऑफ देम. So welcome back, Doctor and Biswa, both of you, for coming. First of all, before starting this podcast, before starting this discussion, please do subscribe to my channel. So yes, let's get it right into it. डॉक्टर, आपसे ही शुरुआत करते हैं पहले. व्हाट अबाउट यू, आपको ये फिल्म कैसे लगा? और आपने अभी जस्ट मुझे बोला, लाइक थोड़े घंटे पहले बोला था कि मैं तो और एक बार देख रहा हूँ, दूसरी बार देख रहा हूँ. लाइक
Yeah,
हाउ वाज योर एक्सपीरियंस? लाइक दो बार देखे हुए, नॉट जस्ट वन बट ट्वाइस. क्या था?
yeah. एक तरफ you have introduced me as a hater, and now you have also revealed that I watched this movie twice. So that is quite contradicting. But yeah, अभी देखो कैसा है कि ये साल तो of course SR शाहरुख खान साहब की वापसी का साल है. और उनके 3 बैक टू बैक रिलीजेस है. एक पठान फिल्म ऑलरेडी धूम मचा चुकी है, और ये दूसरी फिल्म है जवान, जिससे बहुत उम्मीदें थी कि वो एकदम अगर पठान से ऊपर नहीं तो कम से कम पठान के टक्कर की कमाई करेगी ऑफ कोर्स. एंड इसके बाद आ रही है डुनकी, जो राजकुमार हिरानी साहब डायरेक्ट कर रहे हैं, और उस फिल्म से भी अलग उम्मीदें लगी हुई है. So, of course, if you have just been following Bollywood news, and if you've just been following news in general, there's no way you wouldn't know that Shah Rukh Khan is doing a movie. That Shah Rukh Khan की फिल्म जवान आ रही है, जिसको साउथ के काफी मासी डायरेक्टर एटली डायरेक्ट कर रहे हैं. There's no way you wouldn't know that. So the thing is about this movie, actually कैसा है कि मैं मतलब वैसे तो I'm infamous for being a big critic of SRK, and not really being as excited as people are about his movies. So मुझे मतलब ओके, मैंने ट्रेलर देख लिया था. उससे पहले एक प्रीव्यू ट्रेलर आया था, सबसे पहले वो भी देख लिया था while it was coming. एंड कहीं पे लग रहा था कि एक अच्छी किस्म की एक विजिलेंटी मास मसाला मूवी रहेगी, ऐसा एक फील आ रही थी. तो आई थॉट व्हाई नॉट वॉच इट इन थिएटर. सो आई डिसाइडेड टू वॉच इट, एंड लाइक मैंने रिलीज के वीकेंड पर ही देख ली, एंड आई वाज लाइक अमेज्ड. आई लाइक्ड इट बिकॉज काफी चीजें हैं. एक तो इट इज अ वेरी कन्विंसिंग विजिलेंटी मास एक्शन मूवी. ऐसा नहीं है कि वी हैव नॉट वॉच्ड अ vigilante mass action movie before. If you have seen enough movies of S. Shankar, Hindustani, Aparichit, The Gentleman, so you would have a very good idea of how these movies
आई
work.
थिंक लाइक विक्रम टू फॉर दैट मैटर, जब जो वो काफी लेटेस्ट है, लाइक लोग को काफी
But
फ्रेश.
Vikram S. Shankar की फिल्म नहीं है ना संकेत.
हाँ,
तो I'm
करेक्ट.
talking about specifically
ओके.
about S. Shankar
ओके,
movies.
शंकर.
So
द गाय हू मेड
उनकी
नायक.
वो yeah, Nayak. So Madalvan in Tamil before. So उनके मूवीज से तो एक अच्छा आइडिया आ जाता है ये फिल्में कैसे होती है, विजिलेंटी मास एक्शन मूवी. सो वैसे ही उम्मीद था, बट दिस इज वेरी वेल मेड इन दैट वे. एक्चुअली द फर्स्ट 45 मिनट्स इटसेल्फ ऑफ दिस मूवी, जहाँ पे पूरा वो मेट्रो हाईजैक होता है, दैट इटसेल्फ इज क्वाइट कन्विंसिंग एंड एंगेजिंग. एंड उसी में द वे everything plays out, wahin pe there is not a minute a dull moment in that at all, at least for me. And of course Atlee, jo Tamil filmon ke fans hai, they always say that Atlee is a copycat director. वो 10 जगह से फिल्में आइडियाज उठाते, थोड़े यहाँ से थोड़े वहां से, द एंड ऑफ दैट what do you say, that hijack scene, this was very much like from V from for Vendetta से लिया हुआ था. Then of course the other scene, the interval block जिसमें विक्रम राठौड़ का रिवील होता है, that was like epic. Theater turned into a stadium, and I didn't even watch it in a single screen. I watched it in a multiplex, and वहाँ पे सीटिया and hooting, I myself was hooting very loudly. So वहाँ पे हुआ, तब लगा कि ये बहुत जबरदस्त चीज बनाई गई है. And so I would say this is a very well done Masi movie, not at all original, because you've already seen these things everywhere. You've seen this, जो भी ये फिल्मों में दिखा है वो कहीं ना कहीं आपने पहले देखा हुआ है. ऐसा नहीं है कि आप कुछ बहुत यूनिक देख रहे हो, बट वही चीज जो हो चुका है उसे बहुत कन्विंसिंग तरह से प्रेजेंट किया. द पैकेजिंग एंड प्रेजेंटेशन इज गॉड लेवल, एंड द वे SRK हैज बीन प्रेजेंटेड इन द विक्रम राठौड़ अवतार, दैट इटसेल्फ वो भी बहुत मुझे मजेदार लगा. बहुत मजा आ गया. इट वाज वेरी यूनिक. कहाँ हम शाहरुख खान को एकदम किंग ऑफ रोमांस और वो हाथ फैलाने वाले पोजीशन में इमेजिन करते हैं, और कहाँ ये एकदम उनसे अलग किस्म का एक पर्सनालिटी था, वो भी बहुत अच्छा लगा. सो ओवरऑल आई जस्ट loved this movie so much so that I watched it again twice. And of course I really admire the social messaging given, and also the fourth wall breaking, the unofficial fourth wall breaking scene भी मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा. So I loved the movie. I feel this is the kind of this is the kind of movie which should be shattering all box office records, hollow, and making tons of collection, and being absolutely successful, insanely successful. So yeah, ज़्यादा बोल दिया मैं.
नो नो नहीं नहीं, बराबर सही मात्रा में बोला आपने, लेकिन बहुत अच्छा किया है. बिस्वा, हाउ अबाउट यू, व्हाट आर योर थॉट्स ऑन वाचिंग? लाइक मैंने सुहानी से बात की थी सुबह, तो उन्होंने बोला कि बिस्वा ने तो ऑलरेडी 3-4 बार देख चुका है. सो व्हाट अबाउट यू, व्हाट आर योर थॉट्स ऑन दिस फिल्म? कितनी बार देख चुके हैं वो एक्यूरेटली पहले बोलो, और फिर जाके बोलो कैसा लगा.
सबसे पहले तो हाय, थैंक्स संकेत फॉर हैविंग मी अगेन. थैंक्स डॉक, आई लव यू. और
I love you too, Biswa.
आई थिंक मैंने 4 बार देखी है संकेत. सो जस्ट टू आंसर योर क्वेश्चन, मैंने 4 बार देखी है. एंड okay, the reason I watched 4 times is because I had commitments with various friends who are SRK fans like me. मुझे उनके साथ देखना था. And also मुझे SRK, I don't mind watching him again and again on screen, even if I like or don't like the movie, right? I do that. I'm guilty of that. This wasn't my efforts to boost the collections, जैसे लोग कह रहे हैं. This wasn't that. उससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. मुझे 4 बार देखने से the movie is doing wonders. So I think thanks Rahul bhai. So the fact of, I mean, the reason why a movie like Jawan exists today is because these things work. Let me be very honest. As an audience, we are kind of going back to the 70s and 80s, right, where we had these mainstream movies which had a mix of everything. You'd speak of a little bit of comedy, some romance, some heartwarming emotional story, backdrops, action, riveting drama. Like these things were a thing of were a thing of the past, but not anymore. People have started loving these kind of movies, which have been kind of made famous by the likes of, let's say, the KGF franchisee, or Pushpa, to some extent RRR, although RRR was far more superficial in terms of storytelling. But these are the kind of movies which really work with the audience, the massy cinema as they call it. And that's the reason the movie like Jawan exists today. Why Shahrukh is doing it? Shahrukh is doing it because he knows there's a way to connect with the audience, right? And this is the way to connect with the audience today. So I don't blame him for not waving his arms and romancing a girl, or doing any sort of different movies like he was attempting in his dull period from 2016 to 2019 onwards, right? So this is something that clicks. And when he was taking a lot of time to select scripts, it was good that he decided to make a comeback with a movie like Pathan, to top it up with a movie like Jawan, and then to have a director like Rajkumar Hirani for his third movie, which is Donkey. So I think in a way this was meticulously planned, and I do remember his interview with Friday Souza, in fact, where he said that he's not worried, or he's not panicking about three movies lined up for the year because he believed that all three were super hits. This guy wasn't wrong. So coming back to the movie, Jawan is a kind of movie you either love or you hate. There's no in between. Okay, but for people who are not fans of these kind of movies and yet are fans of people like Shah Rukh Khan, like me, it's a tough spot to be in. So, if I have to really talk about what I liked about the movie, I think I liked the fact that it had its engaging moments. It had people hooting and shouting and whistling in the theaters. I mean, I would pay for anything to watch dog hoot and whistle in a theater when in a Shah Rukh Khan movie. So I think this movie had its moments. It exemplified the fact that people are there in the theaters to celebrate life, to celebrate larger than life movies as such. And I think
Heroism.
it's wonderful. It's wonderful to have people enjoy something on the big screen. I mean, all four times that I've been there, I mean, they've nothing. There have nothing been sort of any sort of whistle-worthy moments that I can see there. I think it was fabulous. I think it was lovely watching everyone enjoy the movie. I think that's my takeaway.
ओके। ये फ़िल्म एक्चुअली लाइक मैं काफ़ी एक्साइटेड नहीं था, मैं सच बोलूँ तो। मुझे पहले पता चला कि एसआरके इज़ मेकिंग अ फ़िल्म विद एटली। लाइक मैं बोला एटली कौन है? मुझे नहीं पता। लाइक साउथ इंडियन डायरेक्टर से एस एस शंकर पता है, जैसे डॉक्टर ने मेंशन किया था। फिर जाके आई गूगल्ड हिम, दैन फिर जाके पता चला कि ही आल्सो मेड अ फ़िल्म विद नयनतारा एंड तलपट्टी विजय। सभी लाइक मेरा एक दोस्त है अमर्त्य करके, उसने सारी फिल्म्स देखी है। उसने बोला कि यार एक भी बेस्ट नहीं है, एक भी कोई अच्छा नहीं है। फिर जाके उसने जवान देखा था, तो उसने बोला दिस इज़ द बेस्ट एटली फ़िल्म, मतलब बोल सकता हूँ, क्योंकि मैंने सब देखी है और उसमें से ये दिस इज़ लाइक समव्हाट द बेस्ट वैसे। सो लाइक बोल सकते हैं कि तब जाके मैंने बोला कि चलो एक बार तो देखते हैं, क्योंकि लाइक पीपल लाइक डॉक्टर एंड बिस्वा तो चलो वो तो जाएगा ही, लेकिन लाइक डॉक्टर गोइंग फॉर अ एसआरके फिल्म तो थोड़ा ओके, लाइक होगा कुछ अच्छा होगा, तो मे बी चलो इसमें जाते हैं। सो आई अनलाइक यू गाइस, मैं ऐसे थिएटर में नहीं गया था कि मतलब वहाँ पे पब्लिक सीटी मार रही थी या पब्लिक ऐसे लाइक नाच रही थी, ऐसा नहीं गया था। मैं पीवीआर में ही गया था, मल्टीप्लेक्स में। लेकिन इट वाज अ लाइक यस्टरडे, लाइक ट्यूसडे आफ्टरनून शो, तो आई डोंट थिंक हार्डली कुछ ऑडियंस थी वैसे तो। लेकिन फिर भी आई रिग्रेट टू वॉचिंग दिस फिल्म इन अ गेटी गैलेक्सी वाला थिएटर, क्योंकि मतलब ये फिल्म ऐसे डिमांड करती है गाइस कि वो ऐसा थिएटर में जहाँ पे आवाज़ आए, जहाँ पे लाइक ऐसा कुछ हो तो सीटी बजाए लोग, और उसमें और थ्रिलिंग मोमेंट्स होए। लाइक लेट्स जस्ट से वन सीन जहाँ पे इंटरवल के जस्ट पहले वहाँ पे शाहरुख खान की एंट्री होती है। इट्स लाइक द डैड शाहरुख खान।
Yeah, the interval block I spoke about. Yeah.
करेक्ट। वो वाला लाइक मैं सोच रहा था कि दीपिका दीपिका पादुकोण रहेगी, लेकिन नहीं, क्योंकि मुझे नहीं पता था इसका कुछ भी, क्या कंटेक्स्ट दीपिका कौन से
Yeah,
रोल
that
में
would
है।
actually be fun, no? That कहीं से एक someone just drops a axe, एक कोयता from somewhere, and people look at ये कहाँ से आया, then in that darkness धीरे धीरे fading से लेके focus में आता है, and suddenly Deepika Padukone throwing and hitting people. Actually fun.
बट
Okay, sorry. Yeah.
नो नो इट्स ओके, बट ये मुझे तो वही लगा था, क्योंकि लोग बोल रहे थे कि दीपिका आल्सो हैज अ कैमियो इन दिस फिल्म, और आई डोंट नो मतलब कभी आएगी, कौन सा रोल प्ले करेगी, लेकिन पता तो था। लेकिन फिर जाके पता चला कि शी वाज आल्सो द वाइफ एंड द मदर ऑफ शाहरुख खान, बोथ शाहरुख खान कैरेक्टर। सो तब जाके मैं बोला कि ओके, अच्छा रोल था, नॉट दैट बैड, नॉट दैट गुड आई वुड से। बट एक चीज़ मुझे लाइक जैसे बिस्वा ने अभी बोला था कि इट्स ब्लैक एंड व्हाइट, नथिंग, मतलब उसके बीच में कुछ भी नहीं है। इफ यू यू हैव लाइक यू हेट दिस मूवी और यू लव दिस मूवी, मतलब देयर इज नो बिटवीन लाइक
Yeah.
मिडिल ग्राउंड एज सच। क्योंकि और मैं काइंड ऑफ वो हेट वाले सेक्शन में ज़्यादा हूँ, क्योंकि लाइक आई नो लाइक आई डोंट नो, मुझे वो जो फाइट सीक्वेंसेस थे या एक्शन सीक्वेंसेस थे वो मुझे नहीं पसंद आ रहे थे, लाइक
See, Sanket, what I would say is you need to be a very massy you need to be a commercial massy movie audience to be able to
Yeah.
enjoy this movie. If you're not in that section, if you're the kind of audience who doesn't really connect with these massy action movies, then you'll mostly not like this movie. That's the thing.
Hmm, hmm,
So
hmm.
you need to be that kind of audience who enjoys watching this, who savors this kind of cinema, then you'll love it. वैसा तो है definitely.
एक्चुअली डॉक्टर सच बोलो, मैंने गए साल विक्रम देखी थी. दिस फेल्ट सिमिलर काइंड ऑफ विक्रम, ये like विक्रम जैसी ऐसे लगी थी.
Mm.
लाइक इट्स अबाउट अ विजिलेंटी जो पहले अच्छा, लाइक पहले बुरा रहता है, वी नो गॉट, वी गेट टू नो, लेकिन फिर जाके पता चलता है ही इज एक्चुअली अ गुड गाय. एंड यहाँ पे भी सेम
Yeah,
ट्रीटमेंट है लाइक.
it is a typical South formula which was made famous by S. Shankar. That movie के starting में you have a vigilante character who's trying to get social justice outside the system, and then उसके बाद for the entire first half बस वही चलता है. Then second half में there is a flashback, and वहाँ पे in that flashback it is revealed why this character is doing what he's doing, and then uske baad ek sympathetic climax by which time audience has both bought the badassery of the character in the first half as well as bought into his emotional backstory in the second half, and then you have a emotional climactic fight. ये एक बहुत typical formula है, I'll say, in a lot of Tamil and Telugu massy action movies, which was probably made famous by S. Shankar. I don't know if people were making this kind of movies before him. So yeah, this totally falls into that category. This movie, and actually, बहुत लोग बोलते हैं he's a pupil of S. Shankar. So yeah, he was an
असिस्टेंट डायरेक्टर
assistant
थे.
to S. Shankar. So he follows S. Shankar's school of filmmaking. So that's what it is. Yeah, बिस्वा बोर हो रहा है. Sorry. और ज्यादा बोल रहा हूँ, बिस्वा बोर हो रहा
So
है.
I think he was an assistant to Shankar for Enthiran. उसके बाद या फिर उससे पहले around that time he made a short movie which got very famous it seems, and then he was also an assistant to this movie which was a remake of Three Idiots, although I don't remember the name. I mean I don't know.
Nanban. That was also directed by S. Shankar. Yeah.
Yes, so basically he has
Vijay
these
Talapati played
typical.
Rancho, Amir Khan's role. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I think he has this typical touch of Shankar, and of course the influence stays. Right, we have seen that shades of that with Shad Ali and Mani Ratnam. Of course, Mani Ratnam is gone, but yeah, I think the influence that is pretty evident, like Doc you said, and I think it's pretty obvious that he's coming from a particular school of filmmaking, and I think he doesn't leave any stone unturned. He has been guilty of, I wouldn't say exactly copying or anything as such. I think he has been guilty of having too many storylines, too many threads within one movie, right? And so I think in a way it is inevitable that Jawan would be no different. I knew it. I of course had these had these things in mind when I went to watch it. But then again, I'll break this movie into parts. So the fact that we are talking about the interval block, but we also need to talk about the entry of Shahrukh. Sure, Anurag sir, I'll review it for you. So we are. I mean, when the
Yeah,
movie
it
started, I
was
think it was pretty.
massive, awesome. Yeah, the entry.
It was kind of a crazy entry scene that they had planned for Shah Rukh. I mean, it was so well shot. The slow mos worked. The spear coming in with the CGI extremely clean, neat.
Yeah,
The edges were good. I watched it on IMAX screen. I mean, I could feel okay, we are in for a ride. This is the kind of feeling that
yeah,
we
and those bandages just burning and his face just getting revealed.
feeling.
Another typical trope of Masi vigilante South masala movies is the face reveal of the hero. They give great importance to that when the entire face of the hero is revealed. And यहाँ पे भी वैसा ही होता है. Like he's still in bandages when he's fighting the bad guys, but then suddenly someone throws fire at him and those bandages burn off and reveal his face. That was like very ekdam mass moment and everyone erupting, the audience erupting. Yeah.
Thumping music. I mean, this chest thumping music. I mean, you can literally feel that you don't even know if it's the background music or it's the audience hooting and shouting at it. So it's that loud. It's that good. So entry was pretty powerful. It was a very powerful entry scene, and then of course we get the hijacking of the metro. Similar things follow, but I think the movie kind of So with an entry as powerful as this, it was difficult to live up to it. So of course the movie takes a bit of time. There's a plateau hit, and then we get to the interval block, which again it elevates it further. So people are excited to watch the second part. And second part, what I do is the beginning of second half, or I would say maybe the 30-40% of the second half of the movie is dedicated to the backstory, which
Yeah,
although is nothing new. It's as old as the banyan tree outside. Uh, but the fact is, this is something which is a bit emotional, and Deepika,
yeah,
she
righteous
does a
man
good job.
wronged. That's what it is. Yeah,
Yes, Righteous Man is wrong, and Deepika does a wonderful job. I think. See, there is no scope for evaluating an acting of an acting of any sort of actor in such a movie. But the point
yeah.
is,
She had amazing screen presence. She looked really pretty,
yes, yes,
and she got to Ghana. The song that she got, she was really good in that.
Morata. Yes, I
That's
love her
yeah,
expressions and the dance she does. A little bit of
yeah,
perfume that I think it was pretty good. So Deepika and this emotional angle really works well. And then of course we
yeah.
have the climax, which kind of was good, but not to the level in which the entry or the interval block scenes were planned. But overall, I think this is something that had its ups and downs, and somehow the audience, clings on to the ups, and overall once they come out, they're pretty happy, they're pretty chilled, and of course the background music makes it a crazy ride. I love the background music. Sure.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Full
मैं
marks
जब
to Anirudh Ravichander. I think he's composed both the music as well as background score. I'm not sure if he's done the background score as well, but yeah, it's
Yes.
an amazing job. Yeah.
लेकिन मैं जब देख रहा था तो तभी मैं बोला यार ये क्या हो रहा है क्या कुछ भी। और मैं अपने दोस्त के साथ गया था। मैं ये फिल्म अकेले नहीं जाऊंगा देखने। एंड मैं जब अपने दोस्त के साथ गया था मैं बोला देख ओके फर्स्ट हाफ तक चल ठीक है लेकिन सेकंड हाफ तक आई डोंट नो ये इतना कुछ रियलिस्टिक होने वाला है क्योंकि लाइक ये जेल था या धर्मशाला था आई डोंट नो। मैं वो फर्क नहीं महसूस कर रहा था वहां पे
It
कि
doesn't
लाइक
matter. It doesn't matter. You're not in a world. You're not in the kind of movie where a jail has to look like a jail. Could. It can look something different. That's what it
नहीं,
is.
लुक का सवाल
Yeah.
नहीं था, लुक का सवाल नहीं था। एक्चुअली द
Look and what you feel
इनमेट्स एंड
like.
एक
Yeah,
वैसा
I
वो
mean, jailmates, the kind of clothes they were wearing, or that what do you say, that light green jacket and
teeth।
track pants, and under the white, sparkling, spotless white tees, you'll hardly get people wearing. And that too, jailmates, some of them having proper parlor, just coming out of beauty parlor, वैसा kind of hair, you hardly get that anywhere. But
सो
this is not a realistic movie. That's the thing. This is a entertaining fantasy movie, and that's what it is supposed to show. That's what it
एग्जैक्टली यार
is.
एट द एंड मैं वही सोच रहा था कि इट्स जस्ट नॉट रियलिस्टिक सो इट्स ओके। मैं एक
Mhm.
फैंटेसी जैसे ही देख रहा हूँ क्योंकि लाइक द एक्शन सीक्वेंस और वो सब आई फेल्ट मच बेटर जब मैं विक्रम देख रहा था तभी लाइक थोड़े एटलीस्ट बिलीवेबल एक्शन सीक्वेंस लग रहे थे विक्रम
See,
में as
Vikram,
compared to
I would say if you it is not, it is massy, but there is a tinge of what do you say? There is a tinge of rootedness in it. It is not out and out massy. तो नहीं बोलूँगा मैं. But it is massy. It has plenty of mass moments, but
वो
there is a
मेनली
tinge
ज्यादातर
of
सेकंड हाफ में
rootedness
रहता है।
there. Yeah,
वो
and
सेकंड
ये
हाफ में
जो है,
फर्स्ट
this
हाफ
is
में
just full blown massy. This kind
What
of
is this
movie. That
rootedness? What are the rootedness you're talking about, Doctor? मतलब, if you can elaborate.
the way they showed, I mean, वो कमल हासन का जो कैरेक्टर था विक्रम में, this is not a विक्रम discussion though, but वो कमल हासन का जो कैरेक्टर था विक्रम में, there were plenty of moments where he was dealing with some he there were very serious stuff he was dealing with, which was not very surface level, which went deep. And वो फहाद फासिल का final transformation from being an enforcer to joining this mutiny group, to वो पूरा transition, वहां पे थोड़ा सा layering था
Yeah, they took
for
time to build.
someone like him to completely lose faith in the system and join the rebels. So वहां पे थोड़ा एक element tha of rootedness. And even Kamal Hassan ka, like in the beginning, he's not shown heroic at all. So the guy who his actual son gets him saying that he found him somewhere and he has adopted him as his father, and he's actually a no good, and he actually goes to prostitutes or something like that. So he's not exactly built up in a very heroic way right from the beginning. Then जैसे reveal होता है, then
Yeah.
you know he's not so heroic as he's then he is heroic and he's not so unnoticeable as he looks like. So that's the thing. That's the thing about Vikram. There was this element of seriousness, but there are movies जिसमें इतना भी नहीं होता है. Every moment is just dedicated to creating a grand spectacle with the kind of cinema which Jawan is, you know.
Okay.
True.
Fair
True fan
enough,
service.
actually.
Yeah.
But
This is what we call a fan
coming to
service.
Jawan, like we do have to talk about Vijay Sethupathi. Matlab, I think the
Yeah.
second kind of release, like first release post Farzi, और दूसरी बार हमें like in a Hindi speaking role देखने मिलता है from
Yeah, I'm happy he got such a big breakthrough in Hindi cinema. फर्जी तो चलो OTT show थी. In a Hindi movie, he got such a big breakthrough. I'm happy. And the role is written like that of a typical villain. And एक और typical trope होता है ये मासी movies में, that the most what do you say, the most नफरत आने जैसे hateful villain suddenly turns into a comedian in the end and starts throwing funny dialogues and gets into this wise crack zone. ये भी एक बहुत typical है. And Vijay Sethupathi does the same thing. Someone calls him Santa Claus, and then he gracefully owns up to the title and starts thinking of himself as a Santa Claus and that kind of stuff. But मुझे लगा कहीं ना कहीं for that for this role, एक तो काली गायकवाड़ के रोल के लिए he was not perfect choice, because he looked उसके somehow from his mannerisms and all, he looked too much like a soft guy, a good guy. He didn't not the kind of guy who breathes villainy with his presence. वैसा वो feeling
इवन
नहीं आया
और
मुझे.
इवन एक चीज मुझे अच्छी नहीं, लाइक पता नहीं क्या वो था, लेकिन गायकवाड़ इज अ मराठी सरनेम, नॉट अ साउथ इंडियन, बट
Yeah. Gaikwad is supposed to be a Marathi surname. The guy who's called Gaikwad speaks with a heavy Tamil accent, and his brother is supposed to be Ejaz Khan, which will never so I couldn't help laughing. So sorry. Ejaz Khan is Vijay Sethupathiy's younger god level casting. So sorry, I can't keep a straight face when I'm saying this. Okay,
So I think I have I have a defense.
let Vishwas speak. Yeah.
I have a defense for this. So he says in one of the scenes that his schooling was in Shikakulam, if you remember, right? So
Yeah.
in one line there, he's kind of justifying probably why his accent is what it is. And for me, I think Vijay Sethupathi clicked. Yeah, so I'm a big fan of this guy. Okay, I've always been a fan of this
Yeah.
guy. I loved him in Vikram and Super Deluxe, was it? I think that was the first movie.
हाँ,
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Vijay Sethupathi, and I love it when people speak highly of him. His entry, his menacing look, and chewing a medicine and a tablet or a capsule.
Yeah.
And
Homage to Matrix. That was a homage to
होमाज
Matrix.
टू मैट्रिक्स,
Yeah.
एग्जैक्टली. इवन
Homage to
उनका खुद का
Matrix.
मूवी भी, लाइक विक्रम में भी वो एक
विक्रम में भी वही
पॉइंट में
कर
Blue
वो
pill,
खाते
red
हैं.
pill.
नहीं,
Yeah,
ब्लू पिल
yeah.
रेड पिल वो भी, और इवन जो विक्रम में भी ऐसा रहता है, लाइक एक मोमेंट आता है कि वो
Yeah, he takes a narcotic and he gets all charged up. Yeah.
करेक्ट करेक्ट
Yeah.
वैसे.
So I think a couple of scenes that really I liked a lot, where one was this this meeting scene with Deepika in the jail, right, where he comes to taunt her. It's a typical scene, right? Every Hindi movie in the past.
Yeah, that is the most villainy moment I felt for that character.
Yes,
And he
immediately
did a
after.
good job. I'm not saying Vijay Sethupathi didn't do a good job. He did a good job, but somehow he didn't kind of project that persona of full on villainy. He
Menacing.
he has a soft, sensitive side to him, which at least I felt in this movie बहुत आड़े आ रहा था उनके in that portrayal. And otherwise, I like Vijay Sethupathi. I'm not. I'm criticizing him a little here, but I like Vijay Sethupathi. He's been very good in a lot of movies, and I really want him to have a good innings in Hindi movies and do good stuff. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
इतना तो हिंदी सीख ले यार, मतलब अभी तो करना ही चाहिए, और भी ज्यादा फिल्म्स करनी चाहिए हिंदी सिनेमा में उन्होंने उनको.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
hope किसी
he's a
भी
brilliant
जाए.
actor, and he will be doing good stuff again. And he's been paired of all the movies I've watched. He's been paired with Nayantara twice in the movies that I watched. एक तो वो अभी recently एक आया था उनका love triangle between him, Nayantara, and this one Samantha. I forgot the name. I forgot the
Samantha.
name of that movie.
Some
Yeah.
okay. I
I
don't know.
तमिल मूवी एंड एक और मूवी आया था जिसमें अनुराग कश्यप वाज द एंटागनिस्ट एंड नयनतारा वाज द इन्वेस्टिगेटिंग कॉप. उसमें एक बैक स्टोरी दिया है नयनतारा को इन विच हर लवर हस्बैंड इज विजय सेतुपति. या
ओह ओके. पर आप लोग को एक चीज थी, आप लोग को ऐसा नहीं लगा कि ये फिल्म थोड़ा मदारी से भी जस्ट अडेप्ट किया जैसा लग रहा था कि मदारी इरफान खान वाली फिल्म लाइक उसमें
not
भी
really. It was not really
मेट्रो से
vigilante drama. So that was also vigilante drama. This was also vigilante drama, but in terms of presentation and in terms of execution, not at all. वो बहुत grounded film थी और
I
ये
see.
full blown massy film है.
ओके
See,
ओके.
Sanket, it's
Okay,
very easy to
Biswa को
draw
बोलने दो. I
parallels.
think I'm talking too much here.
No, that's okay. Am I audible by the way, guys?
या हाँ हाँ हाँ
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
So I think Sanket, this point is for you. I think it's very easy to draw parallels with a movie like Jawan because, like Doc said, it's a vigilante movie. I mean, a vigilante fighting for justice out of the system, within the system. You have seen it endless times. Even Hollywood में भी हमने देखा है, and Bollywood is famous for these kind of movies in the past. So I think when we watch Jawan, and in hindsight you start thinking about it, you'll tend to draw a lot of parallels with so many movies. I'm not surprised you kind of compared it to Vikram or Madari, or there have been ample movies as such, right? We have seen it time and again. But the reason people were still frolicking to watch this movie is because they have not seen Shah Rukh in Avatar as such. Okay, Shah Rukh is not.
Absolutely, absolutely.
He
Yeah,
hasn't
that
done
is the
movies like this.
main drawing point. If the SRK being presented as this vigilante hero, as a badass action hero, and that's why in a way the people have not seen him, and that is what is drawing people to watching this movie. Yeah,
True. I think, and also to cite Sandy's, I think, invaluable point the other day in the group. I think it's good to note that Esake was known for drawing people to the multiplexes. Of course, he's very famous overseas. But then again, India, he was very famous in the multiplexes because he had these certain kind of movies which family audiences love to watch and all. But then again, in the north, in the UP belt, those part of areas, I think it was more or less the action movies that clicked. People like Sunny Deol, Akshay Kumar, Ajay Devgan. I mean, they are the ones who have been pretty
SRK
famous.
drew multiplex audiences in India, and he drew a lot of NRI audience. SRK with the kind of movies he was doing in the late
Yes,
90s and mid to and the whole of 2000s. Yeah,
2000s. Yeah, yeah. So I think
the
that is
whole
where
diaspora, the whole Indian diaspora around the world was like head over heels mad after him.
true.
And that's
So I think
exactly the kind of cinema I somehow never connect with, and that's why I get this tag of SRK.
So I think now that the fact that he's making a comeback with such movies, and these
Yeah,
movies are drawing in people there, these movies are drawing in audience because he's doing action, because he's doing something which he hasn't done before, and people want to know. Okay, they want to see a badass Shah Rukh Khan on the screen. They want to see how he looks when he has gray hair with a cigar in his mouth,
yeah,
taking his belt off. I think this is what people want to see, and I'm not surprised with the amount of collections that we are seeing every day. So yeah, I think
yeah.
it works.
And how many? I want to ask both of you. Have you all watched Rowdy Rathod? Both of you.
उसमें भी
I've seen it
मैंने
in
देखा है, और
parts.
उसमें भी विक्रम राठौड़ जो नाम रहता है अक्षय कुमार के
No, yeah, not just that, not just that. Yeah, Vikram Rathod name seems very much inspired from Rowdy Rathod and its original Vikram Arkodu, which was directed by Rajamouli, SS Rajamouli, starring Ravi Teja. तो
Yeah,
उसमें भी उनका नाम वो the cop version of him was called Vikram Rathod. But the thing is उसमें भी एक interval block
interval
है
block.
जिसमें the जिसमें one version of the hero which you have been seeing from the beginning to the interval is in trouble, and the other version of the hero who's not much shown till now turns out of nowhere, and he beats the shit out of all the bad guys who are troubling this hero, and with a very similar weapon, to what Vikram Rathod in Jawan was carrying, and just slicing through people. एंड तो मुझे काफ़ी लगा कि ये इंटरवल ब्लॉक विक्रम अर्कुडू, राउडी राठौड़ से काफ़ी इंस्पायर्ड लगा। मुझे लगा समवेयर एटली वुड हैव गॉटन इंस्पायर्ड बाय दिस थिंग राउडी राठौड़, विक्रम अर्कुडू, डेफिनेटली।
ये मुझे ऐसा लगा था कि इट्स लाइक द नेम टाइटल, क्योंकि मैंने लाइक राउडी राठौड़ कितना 10-12 साल पहले जब भी आई थी तभी मैंने देखा था। उसके बाद मैंने कभी देखा नहीं था, लेकिन आई रिमेंबर फ्यू थिंग्स अबाउट दैट फिल्म कि लाइक इट्स अबाउट द गुड गाय एंड लाइक ही फॉल्स इन लव विद दिस सोनाक्षी's कैरेक्टर, और फिर जाके एट द एंड उसको लाइक
या
उसको बीच में एक
पूरा स्टोरी अलग
रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी
है,
आता
पूरा स्टोरी अलग है। डोंट नॉट
है।
गेटिंग इनटू दैट, आई एम जस्ट टॉकिंग अबाउट द
हम्म,
इंटरवल ब्लॉक in
ओके।
Rowdy Rathod, where the cop version of him, who's not shown till now, turns up and in a total badass form and beats the shit out of all the bad guys who are troubling this first version of the same of the lead actor, and then उसके बाद उसका रिवील होता है as to who this person is. So yeah, कहीं से ऐसे लग रहा था that he got inspired. But what a lot of my people from who follow Tamil cinema a lot tell me is that Atlee is known to be a guy who gets too inspired, or rather steals from a number of movies. Thoda yahan se, thoda wahan se. That's what they tell me. I have not.
So it's
I have not
like,
explored his filmography that I can tell
Me
you, but
neither.
this is what they say
is
about
it
him.
like
Yeah.
ऐसा है कि Atlee is like the Quentin Tarantino of India, like Quentin
You
Tarantino के
don't
sense
say
में?
that. No, 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 no. He's not.
भाई ब्लॉक हो जाएगा तेरा चैनल।
Okay. Anyway, this can you can actually get people. You can actually get people to freak out if you say this. He's not at all from his choice, from his directorial choices. He's not at all Quentin Tarantino. He's just new generation S. Shankar.
Yeah.
That's what he is. एक लेकिन तमिल डायरेक्टर है जिनके you can actually legitimately say that he's kind of in the league of Quentin Tarantino, and that director is Karthik Subbaraj. If you have watched his movies Jigar Thanda, and now Vikram Starer, Mahan, and then there was this Dhanush character
ठंडी शरीर
Starer movie,
जग में ठंडी राम।
Jaga Mein
हाँ,
Thandi
जग में
Ram,
ठंडी है।
and Rajnikant movie Peta, and
बेटा
all the and Pizza,
हिस्सा।
his earlier movies. Both he and Vijay Sethupathi started together with that movie. पिज्जा, सो यू कैन वो उनका यू तुम कंपेयर कर सकते हो टू क्विंटन टैरेंटिनो. ही इज समवेयर इन हिज चॉइसेस, in the way he shows in his cinematic choices. He's similar to Quentin Tarantino, but not Atlee. Of course, even Quentin Tarantino loves to liberally borrow, steal from a lot of sources. So does Atlee, but his cinematic choices not at all. Yeah.
एक और एक चीज जो उन्होंने स्टील की थी जो मुझे लाइक अच्छी लगी थी, इट्स द कैरेक्टर कावेरी अम्मा, द नेम। मैं बोला ओह ओके,
Yeah.
ये सिर्फ स्वदेश देखने वाले लोग को पता
The
चलेगा, बाकी
reference.
कोई नहीं। स्वदेश रेफरेंस, जस्ट एन
Yeah.
अमेजिंग रेफरेंस यार कि
After
यार शाहरुख
Brahmastra, the second Swadesh reference we're getting.
Yeah.
and also one other thing कि जैसे आई थिंक और एक रेफरेंस रहता है, इट्स अबाउट लाइक पीपली लाइफ जैसा रेफरेंस, और उसमें पीपली लाइफ का लीड एक्टर आल्सो प्लेज द फार्मर इन दिस फिल्म, और उसमें लिखा रहता है कि the farmer who suicides gets these kind of awards,
2 lakhs.
like sorry not awards but some kind of
2 lakhs
amount from the
compensation.
government। वैसे सो वैसे यस, सो ये सारी चीजें मुझे वैसा थी। सो बिस्वा,
I have a question. I have a question,
yes,
Sanket and Doc.
okay,
So we know why Jawan is. We have discussed and we know now why Jawan is being loved by the audience. Okay. I want to know why is everyone else. I think do we include? So I'll give an example. When I open my YouTube, just because I've done a little bit of searching on Jawan since the date release or around the release of it, I get a lot of videos which are about the movie. I haven't seen a single review barring Bharadwaj Rangan, which kind of didn't like the movie. Right? Everyone is in has good words to say about the movie. Everybody loved the movie. All the reviews wrote about it were pretty positive. The trade analyst, the one who who is pretty famous in the Indian market, Taran Adarsh, he loved it. the other people on Twitter, everyone has been raving praises about this movie, and also now the industry. So I think आज मैंने पढ़ा था, was it Shekhar Kapoor who had something to say about the movie, and then Varun Dhawan का कोई tweet था, and then of course Akshay Kumar tweeted about it. Uh,
So what are you coming to, Biswa?
ओके, आई थिंक वो फ्रीज हो चुके हैं, जैसे एटली की मूवीज में कैसे थोड़ा सा फ्रीज होके फिर जाके थोड़ा
हाँ, अभी अभी अनफ्रीज हो गए हैं, अभी हंस रहे हैं, दिख रहे हैं,
कितने तक
मुस्कुरा रहे
सुना
हैं,
था?
दिख रहे हैं.
कितने तक
हाँ,
सुना
so
क्या?
what's your question, Biswa? Yeah.
Where were you? By the way, I have said so much. Till what point were you with
Yeah,
me?
after I think Shekhar Kapoor, Varun Dhawan and Akshay Kumar
अक्षय कुमार
tweeted, वहां
ट्वीटेड
तक
अबाउट इट.
सुना
So
था.
are
हाँ,
we are we
आगे आगे.
are we seeing a pattern? I mean, is this something that the audience is the industry is scratching each other's back, or do you think they're genuinely loving it? And what are your thoughts? Why is everyone in love with this movie? I mean, at least
Well,
somehow the
what I would say is that our हमारा Hindi film industry has been through a not good phase ever since the COVID pandemic happened. A lot of movies which were assured that would do well, haven't done well. So whenever a movie does well, which does not cash into a certain political ideology, so it is a big thing. And everyone, it is a big sign of relief. And अभी कैसा है, what I would say is what happens with every movie industry is when their audience makes one particular movie a big success, watches it, makes it super hit, bumper hit, what they indirectly say is this is the kind of cinema we want to watch. Even if you ask them outside, even if you ask them outside, and they would say that okay, इसमें कुछ logic नहीं था, ये नहीं था, but the fact that आप भर भर के जाके film देख रहे हो, and you're raising so much of, you're making this movie earn so much of money, making it so successful, you are already communicating to the industry, to the maker, that this is the kind of movie we want to see. So now the industry, I feel, is got its message, and they also felt that okay, this is the kind of stuff we need to keep making now.
so are we promoting mediocrity here?
Mediocrity is pretty subjective, I would say.
ओके
So it's
What
डॉक्टर.
happened?
turn.
हाँ, आ
What
गया.
just happened?
You're back.
नहीं,
You
कोई
Huh.
बात
you
नहीं.
said mediocrity is very subjective, doc. Yeah.
Yeah. So the thing is, mediocrity, I mean, it doesn't really mean that you have to make a certain kind of movie to be mediocre or to be uh, superior. The It is just about how you approach it. Like if you make more of such movies which are even more mindless, then you are going into mediocrity. But if you're using the same genre and you are trying to put in something, you're really trying to put up something which is worth thinking or worth pondering over, with something which can be giving a social message through this kind of cinema, which the audience really needs to know about, then it's not mediocre. I feel that's what it is. Like in Jawan, there is I won't say that Jawan is not a political movie, or it doesn't question the current socio-political scenario. It is taking a stand. It is taking it very in a very subtle way, even though the movie is anything but subtle, but it is making its political statement very subtly so that people don't immediately get angry with it, but it is communicating something. So
I
yeah,
think it's
I won't
funny.
call it mediocre.
I think it's funny that initially the Congress was using this movie to say that this is kind of speaking about the current government, what is wrong with the system. This is an eye opener of sorts. And today I read BJP has used this movie as an example, stating that this is what happened in those last 10 years or 14 years of power that Congress was in. So I'm not surprised. Of course, politicians in our country, I mean, they are no lesser than a movie. They have a story of their own. So yeah, I think that the politics in the movie is pretty subtle, like Doc said. I think it's very smartly placed.
Yeah,
Uh,
and but the references, the exact references, all the
yeah,
political references that this movie makes, it is actually towards one side. But I don't want to make this video.
yeah.
I don't want people to make this video in such a way that people get offended by their political inclination. So I'm not going there. Yeah.
बट एक चीज पूछनी थी डॉक्टर आपसे, क्योंकि सिंस यू आर काइंड ऑफ द मोस्ट वो पॉप कल्चर फैन, जिसे 90s पॉप कल्चर फैन एक्चुअली,
हम्म।
आपको कैसा लगा था संजय दत्त का कैमियो, एंड आल्सो व्हाट वाज द पॉप कल्चर
अरे
रेफरेंस, वाज देयर एनीथिंग इन
लवली।
दैट?
तो संजय दत्त का कैमियो तो बहुत जबरदस्त लगा। आई एब्सोल्युटली लव्ड इट। इट वाज एकदम मासी मूवमेंट। हाउ कुड यू up the massy scale of the movie by putting by presenting Sanjay Dutt in the way he was presented? So I absolutely loved it. He does sing a few lines from his very famous Khalnayak song at the very beginning. So there's your one very obvious reference. But apart from that, so itna kuch he was not trying to reference anything very specifically. He's just a fun character introduced. He was just a fun character who was introduced there, and he was not taking the situation very seriously, as you could make out. He was kind of chilled. That was kind of giving away what that character had been up to, which was later revealed. So yeah, he was fun. He was talking about his wife, who's a Malayali, and that he needs to go home early because that day was Onam, and he was just a fun character there. Yeah.
I
मैं
think
जब देख रहा था, आई एम सॉरी, मैं एक चीज़ मुझे थी कि मुझे ज़रा भी पता नहीं था कि संजय दत्त का कैमियो है, और मुझे सिर्फ पता था कि दीपिका का कैमियो है, एंड लाइक बहुत रिपोर्ट्स बोल रहे थे कि थलापट्टी विजय का भी कैमियो है। सो आई थॉट कि संजय दत्त तो मैं भूल ही गया था, भूल क्या, मुझे पता भी नहीं था। सो
शुरू में
और
लिखा था
जब
वैसे।
आया और तब जाके ओ क्या देख लिया यार मैंने, मतलब समथिंग कुछ आउट ऑफ द बॉक्स ही जैसा था। और जैसे वो गा रहे थे खलनायक वाला गाना, आई थॉट उनका कैरेक्टर का नाम भी कुछ समथिंग
माधव नाइक।
सिमिलर होगा खलनायक मूवी से, लेकिन मैंने गूगल किया था कि नहीं, सिमिलर नहीं था। लेकिन इट्स ओके, जस्ट अच्छा एंटरटेनमेंट वैल्यू था इन इन दैट, लाइक जस्ट क्लाइमैक्स वाले सीन्स में वैसे। सो बिस्वा, आपको पूछना था, यस, आप ही आ रहा था कि मैं आपको कैसा लगा था अबाउट दिस कैमियो?
प्रीटी मच लाइक डॉग। मुझे तो मजा आ गया संजय दत्त को देख के। आई लाइक संजय दत्त अ लॉट। मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगता है व्हेन ही डज दीस थिंग्स ऑन स्क्रीन। आई हैड लाइक्ड हिज कैमियो इन रावण एज वेल, जो शुरू में आते हैं वो। इट वाज अ फनी लिटिल सेगमेंट बाय द वे इन रावण, इन अ मूवी।
Yeah.
It was quite contrasting to what we have seen from Sanju Baba in the past. So there's this scene where the press is announcing this will be like Madhav Naik, right? That was his name, Madhav Naik versus
Yeah. Yeah.
Vikram Rathod. And then there's this shot with a helicopter flying, and everyone is thinking that okay, the hero will come out of it. And then the scene cuts down, and there's a barrier, and this guy is coming on a scooter and parking it in
Yeah,
there.
yeah, एकदम downplaying subversion, and he came with that. He came in that South Indian vesty and shirt. He didn't even come in a very slick look, and he was taking it very easy, and he was just having fun there. Even that character in that situation was just having fun. You could make it out. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think, and the background music for Sanjay Dutt was, again, it was nice, it was catchy. I've heard
Yeah.
it over and over again. Yeah, चार बार देख चुका हूँ. So of course I've heard it over and over again. I've shot a mini part of it and I've kept it in my phone because I love that background music of Sanjay Dutt. So yeah, it was a fun. It wasn't a surprise. I think शुरू में ही उसने लिख दिया था thank you Sanjay Dutt the
हाँ
first
हाँ
initial credits के time
Yeah,
पे.
yeah, वो न्यूज़ तो काफी आ चुका था
भी
कि
आ गया.
संजय दत्त है इस फिल्म में।
There was also
वो
news
तो
that
आ चुका
Bollywood
था।
was
Okay,
playing.
Biswa, since you watched it so many times, do you know all the ये जो गर्ल स्क्वाड होता है आजाद का, उसमें do you know all the actresses who were there in it? I could notice Sania Malhotra, I could notice Priya Mani, but who were those other four girls in that girl squad of Azad character?
Am I there? You can hear me?
हाँ
Yeah,
हाँ
yeah,
हाँ,
yeah, yeah.
इधर।
Okay, the girls squad, of course, Sania Malhotra, pretty famous. Uh, the Dangal girl, and then we had
Priya
Alia
Mani थी।
Priyamani, of course, quite famous again. Uh, she was in the song with SRK in Chennai Express, and then Family Man, mein she has become a household name here. And I believe she's also a national award winner, if I'm not wrong, right?
Yeah, yeah. Her movie Parthu Veeran. We have not we are not very big Tamil movie fans here, but if you watched anyone, you ask any Tamil movie enthusiast about Paruthi Veeran, and they'll be like, "Oh, that is a very big movie for them. That is a that is a go-to cinephile movie for them. We should also be watching that." Yeah, she won it for that movie. Yeah,
Okay, so I've named what Sanya and Priyamani.
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 There was Alia Qureshi. Uh, there was this lovely hair Sangeeta Bhattacharya, who's a singer, I believe. And then there was this lady I was talking about today, Girija Oak, who I believe is a Marathi actress and has done movies. And I got to know that she was the one who was a fellow colleague of Amir Khan's character in the movie Tare Zameen Par. So yeah, this is the girls' gang.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of this doc. आज ही मैंने एक वीडियो देखा which is showing it's a video to let everyone know
Yeah,
who
yeah, yeah.
these girls are. So I think this girl gang concept, it worked. It kind of I think it exemplified SRK's persona in a way where he's quite, he's known to be that kind of a person who lets his actresses, do the talking. And then he has a gang which is a women gang. He has been raised in a cell in a jail which is a women's jail. और I think this clicked. I think initially जब देखा गया था पांच लड़कियां हैं and there's this gang and this guy is the chief. I think this was supposed to work. I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Even
That's
that
great.
concept of hero being born in jail, वो of course Lord Krishna के time से
Janmashtami.
हमारे mythology से ही ये चीज आते आया, and we have seen it in quite a few movies that some injustice is done to the hero's mom, dad, and she delivers in jail, and the hero's kind of raised in a jail, and
And
then he
this
goes
film
on
is
to do great
released.
things.
This film is released on the Andy Day. Uh,
Yeah.
गोकुल अष्टमी के दिन रिलीज हुई थी
गोकुल
यस.
अष्टमी कृष्णा जन्माष्टमी के दिन रिलीज भी हुआ है, वो बिग कोइंसिडेंस देयर. या.
यस. एक
Coincidence, yeah.
चीज
They
मुझे
didn't plan it.
एक एक चीज मुझे पता नहीं क्यों अच्छी नहीं लगी. सानिया मल्होत्रा इज लाइक अ गुड हाउस होल्ड नेम. उन्होंने दंगल लाइक वेरी फेमसली दंगल किया था और आई थिंक बधाई बधाई हो किया था. आई डोंट नो, काफी कम लाइक स्क्रीन टाइम तो नहीं लेकिन काफी कम उनके डायलॉग्स थे.
या
आई वाजंट
कैरेक्टर को बहुत
एक्सपेक्टिंग दैट.
ये कम दिखाया था. या.
आई वाजंट
बट
She had
एक्सपेक्टिंग
the
ठीक है.
she
बट
had the
या या that was there. वो this whole girls gang को ही बहुत कम रोल वैसे दिया है. They're just kind of there to aid Azad, and he's always shown more than these people. So वो तो है with each and every one, but okay, ठीक है, that's just how it is in the
I think
movie.
these characters have suffered at the editing table. To be very honest, these characters have suffered at the editing table. Of
Yeah,
course, it's very difficult. वरना बहुत लंबा हो जाता movie. But then again, fan service भी करना है. You have to like show SRK the way he's being shown. तो उसके चक्कर में I think somewhere we have there's this sacrifice that we are talking of. I think Sanya का backstory was uh, I liked Sanya's backstory. The reason why she was in
yeah,
jail and that incident, which has happened in 2017, if I'm not wrong. It's based on a true
yeah,
incident, by the way, right? So I think उस हिसाब से देखा जाए तो सानिया का character was nice. She's a good actress, no doubt, and she dances really well. Look at her on dancing on reels of the songs, or in the Zinda Banda song and in the movie. I think she has good presence of screen on screen. But then again, overall देखा जाए तो बाकी लड़कियों का they didn't have any story as such. ज़्यादा दिखाया नहीं गया है. प्रियमणि का it's only in flashbacks, and I believe that if there is an extended cut, उसमें दिखाएंगे all these backstories. There might be some extra runtime that we can see. But I think it's a good decision to uh, edit it the way it has been edited. But then again, yeah, probably here and there they could have tweaked something.
एट द एंड मैं एक ही चीज कहना चाहूंगा कि वाइल आई फेल्ट वाइल वाचिंग द फिल्म और फिल्म खत्म होने के बाद आई मतलब पहले मैं गया था कि इट्स अ शाहरुख खान मूवी ओके. लेकिन मैं जब फिल्म देख के हो गया मुझे ऐसा लगा कि इट्स एन एटली फिल्म. क्योंकि लाइक बोलते ना कि इट फेल्ट लाइक कि लाइक यहाँ पे फास्ट पेसिंग एडिटिंग और फास्ट पेस पूरा सब मतलब जैसे साउथ इंडियन फिल्म में देखने में मिलता है वैसे इट्स लाइक द फास्ट कट्स एंड लाइक वो जो like high frame rates वैसे वो सब चीज़ें it's quite famous in the South Indian film space, especially डॉक्टर ने जैसे बोला in Tamil and Telugu films वैसे. So वैसे मुझे लगा not compared like I say it's a शाहरुख खान film. So at the end it's okay, चलो कुछ तो entertainment मासी जैसे देखी which I wasn't quite excited, but it's okay, चलो चलता है. I would feel that.
Thanks. Thank you, Sanket.
और लाइक मेन तो मैं खुद भी रनिंग था, लेकिन चलो आज ऑफ डे है मेरा, तो चलो आज देख के आ ही जाते हैं, तो वैसे इंस्टेंट प्लान जैसा हो गया था वैसे. बट यस, थैंक यू सो मच गाइस फॉर दिस लवली डिस्कशन. इट वाज जस्ट एकदम हीट ऑफ द मोमेंट हो गया था ये डिस्कशन. प्लान्ड भी नहीं था, क्योंकि मेरा फिल्म देखना भी प्लान नहीं था ये. आई वाज होपिंग मैं
आई फील फिल्म ने जिस तरह से एसआरके को जिस तरह से एक यूनिक तरह से थोड़ा रीब्रांड किया है, नॉट टिपिकल क्लासिकल एसआरके एंड दिस डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ एसआरके, दैट वाज अ गुड थिंग, बिकॉज अभी थोड़ा पब्लिक ने क्लासिकल एसआरके को बहुत देख लिया है अभी, आई फील. एंड ऑल्सो ये फिल्म में एक जो मोनोलॉग सीन है जिसमें आजाद इज मेकिंग दिस इमोशनल मोनोलॉग, वो इफ मुझे काफी एक दूसरे फिल्म की याद आई, फिर भी दिल है हिंदुस्तानी, जहाँ पे एसआरके वाज प्लेइंग अ न्यूज रिपोर्टर, एंड वहां पे भी ही डिलीवर्स अ वेरी इमोशनल मोनोलॉग, एंड ही इज एड्रेसिंग पीपल ऑफ दिस कंट्री टू डू करेक्ट थिंग्स, एंड वो मोनोलॉग की बहुत याद आई मुझे while watching this. Yeah.
I think the similarities are uncanny, Doc Sanket. So I think if okay, मैं अपना closing note ही दे देता हूँ, just because we are on time. I'm very happy being a Sanket fan. Of course, I'm very happy that he's in the news. I mean, of course, he was always in the news, but then again, he's in the news for all the right reasons, and his movies are doing good. People are loving it. He's reinventing himself in a way that the audience wants to see him. So I'm very happy for that. Overall, agar somebody will have to ask me if there was no SRK in this movie, would you watch it 4 times? My answer is no. I'll not. I mean, of course, like I said, this movie is essentially a fan service by a director who knows the pulse of the audience that he caters to, and by an actor who's willing to reinvent himself at this stage. But the fact is, I am very happy with all the love that is pouring in, and
also for the guy who is also breaking out into the Hindi film industry, which is Vijay Sethupathi.
Of course, I'm the entire cast. I think I love the cast. I loved everything about the movie. But then again, this is something which is nothing new. But then again, this is what it is. This is what the audience loves, and I'm no exception. So I'm a part of the audience now. Maybe these films will start growing on me. I love all the reviews that have been in favor of the movie. Most of them, I would say 99% of them. But again, there is one review which I really loved, which I would like to share with both of you. And I think I've taken a snapshot of that. So it says super massy, super duper entertaining, real blockbuster.
Yeah.
I've taken a snapshot of this, and I kiss it
Wow.
every night before going to bed. I think this is why I love Jawan. The fact that the review that came out, which is of course by Doc himself on his Instagram story, I loved it. I'm so happy for the movie, Jawan.
Okay, थैंक यू सो मच गाइस. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. बहुत बहुत लाइक अच्छा रिव्यू था डॉक्टर का भी इस फिल्म के ऊपर, और लाइक दी एसआरके हेटर जिनको ये फिल्म बहुत अच्छी लगी वैसे. सो इट वाज क्वाइट अ गुड एक्सपीरियंस आल्सो टॉकिंग अबाउट दिस फिल्म एज वेल आप दोनों के साथ. सो थैंक यू गाइस सो मच ये इसमें आने के लिए, ये डिस्कशन में आने के लिए. एंड आल्सो सुवानी अच्छे से मेंशन करते कि इट टुक अ जवान टू फाइनली bring Doctor and Biswa, two people who share two extreme emotion for SRK together and say I love you.
Yeah.
So thank you so much guys. Hope to see you guys soon in another podcast, another discussion. डन की तभी देखते हैं अनय को बुलाते हैं कब वैसे ऐसे, क्योंकि अनय is like a die hard another die-hard Shahrukh Khan fan. So let's see Anay आ सकते हैं तो वैसे. So yeah, thank you so much
for
guys.
having us, Sanket.
Thanks for having us, Sanket.